What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a wave cut with the one open, with the grain, and a high temp fade. And it's going to be blurry. Stay tuned to the end so you can see the end results. I'm brushing as I go, making sure that everything lays flat. The key is even pressure. You don't want dips or lighter spots. At the crown, I follow the pattern so I don't create patches and let the guards do the work. And here I'm using the Saber tooth clippers, which I think hands down right now is the best clipper. I wind up changing it to a Faber blade because nobody has the Echo blade in stock at the moment, and I wanted to keep using these clippers. But here now I'm starting the first guideline on the high temp fade. I'm going from the corner all the way back to the top of the ear, using the shavers, Babyliss, balled it out. Then I'm making the guideline with the lever all the way open, going about a ½ inch up, using the corner, making sure it's nice and clean. Then the second guard I use is the half guard all the way open. You know, every few stroke that you do, make sure you're brushing the hair down and make sure you get a nice even cut. Now I'm going with the 1.5 guard open, and I'm just debulking the area. Once I make like the three guidelines, then I go fading down. I like using the half guard and then the 1.5 guard. Using those two guards kind of gives you a quick blend, and then sometimes I just use the one guard just to clean up and detail in between. I just found that that's a quicker way to do some fades. And I obviously jump from guards, just touching up areas that I see that need to be cleaned up. So the top is, you know, the one open. You can take the 1.5 guard all the way up, and it'll give you a clean blend, you know, and connects it right from the top to the bottom. Always making sure you're pulling the skin too. So far this temp fade is looking nice and clean. I like sometimes working on the bottom half of the fade, and then work my top portion of the fade. As you can see, I went back to the 1.5 to touch up and lighten up spots that are dark. So you can see it's coming together. And then since the top is a one open, you can take that one guard closed, and you can also do it with the grain just at the top portion of the temp fade, just a little bit like right there, just to clean it up. And don't be afraid to go back in detail. Yeah, I'm using the corners, so I don't want to create more lines. All right, here starting with the back. He has like a crazy cowlick on that right side of his hair, so it's a little challenging trying to get a good blend. But here I started with the trimmer, Saber Gold Edition, and then I use a shaver again to bald it out, get it nice and clean. And the same steps you did on the side, you could do the back. You know, you start with the no guard lever open, and since the pattern of his hair grows in different directions back there, you can see me flip the clipper down and fade down just to get that even cut, because no matter how much times you pass the clipper up, the hair is not going to come down. That's why it's good to go in every direction. See? And when you're doing tapers, you want to make sure that taper shows, man. And one simple trick that you can use to make sure that you're not going like crazy high on the taper is just follow where the earlobes are. That's where you make your first guideline with the trimmer. So the bottom of the ears, you know, go across, make that guideline, and then from the top of the ear, usually is where you'll blend out to whatever length they have on top or in the back. You know, if they have an even cut like this, then you knowing that you did a one open, you can fade up and blend up to almost, you know, just about the top of the ear, and that way you'll have a nice gradually blended blurry taper, blowout, whatever you want to call it. That's the way I cut. I like extending the taper because there's no point of doing a fade if it's not going to show. You know what I mean? That you go from like skin to like a dark harsh line. To me, it doesn't look good. Everybody got their preference. Obviously, if you're doing a fade and it doesn't look like a fade, it's not a fade. So this is just the way I cut. But then also, you know, you want to consult with your client, see what they like, see if they have a reference picture or what, you know, they're looking for. That's why communicating and asking questions to find out exactly how the client wants their haircut. Pretty much once you have like a style of cutting and, you know, you build your clientele on the way you cut, that's how most clients are going to accept how your haircuts are. That's why it's always important to, you know, take pictures of your cuts and market yourself so you can attract the clientele that, you know, would like your style of haircut. You can see how the blend is. It doesn't extend over the top of his ear. And it's just right in between, from the top of the ear to the bottom of the ear. Sometimes the way I cut, I like doing like the guidelines first, do the blend quick, and then I just go back to detailing. Here I'm using the fast feeds just to do some touch-ups and detail work. How many of y'all use the fast feeds? To me, I like them. I like the quarter ones. They cut way better. But these are like my second go-to. especially for detailing. They're really good. I would say that these clippers are not good to cut every type of hair. Another trick too is not even a trick, but always use your mirror. The mirror is not gonna lie to you, and it's gonna show you spots that need to be touched up. Or you can use your camera on your phone too, because sometimes you think a cut is nice and blended and looks good, and as soon as you take a picture, they'll throw something else. But look how blurry that fade came out, high temp fade. Nice clean edging. And as soon as I put the razor, it's just gonna pop out even more. Doing a little touch-up work again on the high taper. Quick little touch-up with the shaders. Well, let me know what you guys think, man. We got any questions, just drop them down in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, man. Subscribe and like and share, man. Appreciate y'all. This is what I do. Using the razor, 45-degree angle, stretching the skin. One trick is, have your client blow a bubble just so that the skin can be stretched out and you can get a nice precise lineup. Look at that, check it out. Another thing with the clients, man, some, if they really don't want it, they'll be like, oh, don't put no product or don't style my hair. But me, I like to tell them, like, I like to style it before you go, because that way I can find any imperfection. And when you go home, you take a shower or you're about to go out and you style your own hair, and then you be like, oh man, I didn't see this, or you know what I mean. I like to make sure that when you walk out of the barbershop, your cut is A1 and you don't have to worry about, oh, he left hair here, he left hair behind my ear, or he left hair in areas under the neck, hair sticking up. I just want to make sure that everything is clean and even. Keeping the hairline as natural as possible. You don't want to push back. And the corners on the side of the lip. When it comes to the razor work, I use about 2-3 razors per client. So I'll be like, oh, all I need is one, man. I don't care. That's what the client pays me for. I like having my razor sharp, and I do a lot of touch-ups, especially when it comes to beard. You don't want to start irritating the skin with a dull blade. Anyways, here's the end product. Thanks for tuning. Thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all.